This is Patrick from EasyFX Code Trading System, and it's Thursday, the 24th of October 2019, and it's approaching 11 a.m. in Singapore. And this is the daily analysis for spot gold and dollar yen. And let's take a look at spot gold on the daily chart, and it's continued to consolidate within this slightly ascending wedge, and as well as a triangle that we drew on Tuesday. The weekly pivot is at the 1488.56 level, and it's just hovering above that. Let's switch to the 4-hour time frame. It did try to break out higher above the 200 period EMA, and that's still the intermediate resistance down here, and we'll see. And since then it has pulled back down to the 55 period EMA, and now it's constrained within the upper trend line of the triangle. We'll see if that will be broken eventually, and as well as the 200 period EMA above that. So the weekly pivot is right in the center of this triangle apex that is narrowing into, price is narrowing into that apex. So we'll see whether there's enough bullish momentum to carry it higher, or it's going to break below the 55 period EMA, and then the weekly pivot towards the lower trend line of the triangle. So the immediate support now is still at the weekly pivot, and for today we'll see if this range holds, and if it does fall lower, then there's still support from the lower trend line. Alright, let's take a look at the dollar yen. Dollar yen is still constrained by the daily 200 EMA above that as resistance, and the weekly pivot support is at 108.46. It did make a recovery yesterday after dipping lower, and bounce back up above the weekly pivot. Let's take a look at the 4-hour time frame. So the weekly R1 was the intermediate resistance, but I think now there seems to be a intermediate resistance at this level here at the 108.70 area. Support zone is still at the weekly pivot, but it could be lower in the near these lows at the 108.30 zone. So there is a minor trend line of support that's needs to be broken, along with the 55 period EMA, so that it can target the lower trend line of the ascending wedge. Right, so but for now this range is only about 30 or 40 pips, so it's still consolidating in a smaller ascending triangle pattern. These highs up here. So yeah, can use that as the upper trend line of the ascending triangle. Alright, so unfortunately it's consolidating for this few days, and we'll see whether there's any potential for breakout, either higher or lower, so they can take advantage of moves either in spot gold or dollar yen. Meanwhile, there's US news later tonight, core durable goods orders, and apart from that, there's only ECB for the Eurozone is later tonight as well. Alright, have a good trading week, and do check out my other videos on Euro, Pound, Cable, and the Aussie dollar. And have a good trading week. Cheers.